Hello, welcome to another episode. Today we're going to be taking the gearbox and the motor out. We're going to start with, I think we're going to disconnect the gearbox here from the motor, as all the bolts, I feel like Allen key bolts, are all quite accessible, and we'll see if they come away. It looks like the motor's well and truly, it's braced in here, or it's connected to this metal brace here, and obviously it rests on the subframe, the engine mounts that are there, so I don't envisage the motor falling out on top of me, hopefully. We'll have to disconnect the steering from the UJ joint and steering rack as well, but other than that and the speed sensor, I think everything else is disconnected. There's not really much left here. Certainly electric wise, there's certainly nothing connected anymore, so here's hoping. Less than an hour, all done. I think it's worth mentioning at this point that we weren't able to disconnect the motor from the gearbox. There wasn't enough room between the bulkhead and those Allen key bolts to be able to get the ones on the top off. So we had to go with, I suppose, the original plan, which was to drop the whole thing in one go. But to be honest, that was alright. We used the engine crane to lower the motor down just to make sure it didn't suddenly drop. And the whole thing came out pretty well, as you can see. Well, I'd like to say it took an hour. That might be stretching the truth a little bit. But safety first and all that, so we double checked, triple checked everything. As you'll probably see from the time lapse very quickly, that we supported the motor with the engine crane as we kind of lowered it down to this kind of makeshift dolly, if you like, using the jack and some wood. So, and then obviously lifted the front of the car using the engine crane, and yeah, just slid this all out. So literally just unbolted the gearbox. So as you can see, so this is the motor side, and that's the T50 standard gearbox that comes with this car on the petrol version. The engine mounts, which are like rubber little, the motor gearbox mounts are just like the engine mounts. They're made of rubber, and they look a bit perish and old, as you'd imagine. So I think they're on the shopping list, a new set of those. But by the looks of things, kind of business as usual. This thing's got a clutch on it. Looks like a standard clutch. Don't see anything exciting about it. And obviously I'll take this all off a little bit later. But it's mounted to this, well, I don't know, it's kind of like flywheel, which obviously comes straight off the motor. Quite simple as that. So in theory, all the slave cylinder and everything was connected. So you wouldn't be able to use the gears. So although you've got a motor that spins just like an engine does with no gearing, it will just spin at so many RPM, you could actually make use of the gears to basically increase your speed. So yeah, quite interesting. So next task I'll go in this position, using the engine crane to take the weight. Just going to disconnect the motor from the subframe itself, and then obviously we can I'll take all the steering rack off and clean this all up, paint it and everything. It looks like a bit of surface rust, but nothing bad. There's no rot. I don't think it's needs replacing, which is another good thing. I'd also like to add, parts are starting to come together. Thanks to the help from a guy called James McGovern over in Northern Ireland. He's managed to set me up with a load of parts that I needed. Some that aren't needs, they're more wants, but seeing as I was starting down the memory lane, and he was very kindly putting together a list of more items that I was after. I've now got myself a brand new fuel tank, fuel straps, bonnet, even a roof lining for the car. Got stuff like the glass as well, which is really good. And the exhaust stuff's coming together as well. I've got myself a HKS exhaust manifold that needs cleaning up. So that's all good. So no excuses now. Need to crack on, need to sort out this rust, get things moving. But thanks very much for all you guys for watching the videos, and anyone who's subscribed, or if you haven't subscribed, obviously, please subscribe. And I've got a couple more videos coming up. One of them's going to be around about a week or two ago. Managed to get tickets to go and see Top Gear. So we'll do a little video on that. And I've also got problems, or been working on another project that I've got, which I'll run through as well, which is a little bit interesting. Well, I think it is anyway. Cool. So I'll see you soon. Thanks.